Hi friends, this is a Bijou Baker. I'm Maria. Today I'm going to show you how to make red velvet cake. It's one of my favorite recipes and it may look like it's a little intimidating. I'm going to break it down to 3 simple steps and you'll be able to do it. Before I go on, I want to tell you what red velvet is not. Red velvet is not chocolate cake with a lot of red icing. Red food coloring. Let me tell you what happens when you eat chocolate cake with a lot of red icing. To get red icing, to get the cake red enough to make it really vibrant, you need to use a lot of food coloring. When you use that much food coloring, I mean like more than 1/4 cup. That's a lot of food coloring. I went to I love to go to bakeries and try their cakes. Who doesn't, right? I went to one and the young guy, I go, well, how do you make your red velvet? He goes, oh, it's just chocolate cake with a lot of red food coloring. And I instantly thanked him for his time and went about my way. Had I eaten that chocolate cupcake or that red velvet cupcake, okay, this is gross and I'm sorry, but this is really real. You're going to eat all that red food coloring. It's going to pass through all your system, and when it leaves, it's going to scare the heck out of you because you may think something's wrong. There's that much food coloring in it. No, red velvet cake is not chocolate cake. As a matter of fact, this is all the chocolate you use. That's it. The trick and the secret and that unfamiliar flavor that you get from red velvet is vinegar and buttercream. Those are the 2 ingredients that give it that home kind of taste. So when I'm done with this cake, the next video I'm gonna show you this most adorable Valentine cake that I'm gonna make. That's why I wanted it red velvet, because it's Valentine's. So the first thing I'm going to do is line my pan. Come on, Dad. All right. So all I did right here, I took a piece of parchment, I lined it, drew a line with a pencil, cut it out, and let it fit. That is all I'm doing for my cake pans. I'm not going to grease and flour and do, that's it. This pan is ready to go with all my cakes. That's all I do with to prepare the pan, because when you see in my recipes, you'll see that as it cools, the cake will shrink a little bit and it's going to pull away from the edges, so you're good. This is a bigger pan, and my recipe will make either 3 8-inch thinner cakes, 2 8-inch thicker cakes, a 9-inch or cupcakes. But this one is a 12-inch pan, so I'm going to make 2 recipes. And I need 2 layers, but I don't want to go to the expense of buying another pan because I don't use the heart shapes all that much. So I'll bake this one, let it cool, and then I'll make another cake, and then I've got my 2 cakes and I'm good. So when you're doing your baking or cooking, anytime you're in the kitchen, you want to get your mise en place. Your mise en place just simply means things in place. That's it. So when I have my cakes, and I've been through this, you know, I've already said this, but I'd rather be redundant than not give you the information. I'll show you how I have my stuff set up. 1 second. Okay. So I've got all my ingredients here. I've got my flour, sugar, eggs, vegetable oil, cocoa, and everything else is already set up. So when I go on my recipe and I put everything in its own bowl, I check off and I make sure I got the quantity right and I got the item right. So this is how you kind of want to set up your mise en place for baking, and then you know you're ready to go. Okay, so it's going to be broken down into three bowls. You have the largest bowl where you're going to actually do your mixing, a smaller bowl, and a medium bowl. In the smaller bowl, you're going to put your dry ingredients, which are the flour, cocoa, baking soda, and you're going to whisk them together. Oh, and the salt. And I like to use popcorn salt just because it's finer and it dissolves really well. That's just my opinion. Don't worry about it. If you don't have it, regular table salt works. Okay, and it doesn't have to you just want it mixed well. That's going to be put aside. The second bowl, you're going to whisk your eggs and your sugar, and it's going to come to a nice thick paste, which is just what you want. All right, that's going to be put to the side. Then you're going to take your bowl with your vegetable oil and your vanilla. And this is where you're going to add your red food coloring. And you're going to use just a 1 ounce little bottle of red food coloring. And of course you can, oh, wrong one. Remember I made the other one and I grabbed the wrong bottle. Well, that's awfully light. All right, so you're going to whisk it together, and I kind of want to, it's going to be a little tricky to show you, but it's not going to want to come together really quick, but just force it. And all you're going to do is just mix it. Okay, then you're going to take your egg mixture, your egg and sugar, and you're going to put that inside. That's done. Gosh, I really want you to see this. Let me change the camera angle because I want you to see this. Ta-da! There you go. So you can see that it's wet on top and all the sugar and egg is mixed to the bottom. So you're just going to keep incorporating this until it becomes one mixture. Now, this is not a recipe you want to do with kids, because it's gonna stain. Well, not stain, but it'll not stain in the sense that you're gonna leave it there and sit. But if it gets on you, or if it gets it, look, I think all I did was open up the container and I got it on. So just keep mixing it. That's why I have such a big bowl, so that I can mix vigorously. All right, now I'm gonna add flour, buttermilk, and so on, to make sure it incorporates really well. That looks awfully blurry. Better. Okay, so this is pretty thick and runny, gummy. And I'm just gonna put about 1/3 in. And then I'm gonna put about 1/3 of the buttermilk. And strange enough, you use such a little bit of the vinegar, but it really does show in the taste. And that color is just dynamic, right? Another 1/3. And another buttermilk. So when you're doing when you're adding the flour, you're just going to keep stirring it until you don't see dry ingredients. When you're adding the buttermilk, you're just going to stir it until you don't see white. And the last of the buttermilk. You'll work your arms out, boy, that's for sure. These make really great cupcakes too, the consistency. Okay, I got my heart-shaped pan. And again, you can do cupcakes or quarter sheet or round cakes, whatever you want. I have an agenda, and that's what I'm using this for. All right. This is gonna rise really nicely, and when it's done and it's cut, it's gonna give me such a clean look. Okay, my oven went off. I'm gonna put it in the oven at 285 degrees for a long time. Low and slow, that is a key to a perfectly level cake. You won't have that dome. I don't know if I mentioned this. When a cake is baking, the outside is going to cook faster. So if the outside is cooked, but the inside is still rising, you're going to get that dome. So when you have a level, to get a level cake, you're going to, 285 is my cake temperature. Figure out what's yours, but I'm telling you, 285 works perfect for me. And I bake it, if you could get a box cake and it says 35 minutes, I go for at least 50 to 60 minutes. It's a slow, arduous process, but man, the results pay off. That's it. That's how you make my red velvet cake. So my next video, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this. And it is a cute, absolutely beautiful cake. So look for that. All right, my friends, until next time, happy baking.
Ah, that was fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.